Welcome to Academic Skills 115, Strategies for Academic Success, presented by the Undergraduate Advising Resource Center. Topics we'll be discussing today: what is probation? How to get to good standing? A UWO student's journey from probation to graduation? How to calculate your GPA? Progress reports, knowing how to use your Titan Web Student Center, and all throughout, tips from an academic advisor. Academic standing is a classification used to measure a student's academic performance using GPA. If a student has a GPA of 2.0 or higher, they are considered in good standing. If a student's GPA falls below a 2.0 for one semester, they will be placed on probation 1. If a student's GPA remains under a 2.0 for 2 semesters in a row, they are placed on probation 2 and have 1 semester to get the GPA over a 2.0. If a 2.0 is not earned by the 3rd semester, a student will be placed on suspension 2 and will need to appeal. If the appeal is granted, the student will return and their academic standing will revert to probation 3. When a student is readmitted after probation, they are admitted as Reentry Pro 2 or RP2 probation. As you can see, there are ways to bounce back from probation and suspension. If you would like to know more, you can search academic standing on the UWO Registrar's Office page. What if I don't get off probation? Suspension is a classification after probation when a student is not allowed to return to UWO for at least 1 semester and a summer term. This can happen when a student's GPA falls below a 1.0 or when a student fails to achieve good standing within 3 consecutive semesters. Students can appeal a suspension, especially if there are extenuating circumstances that may have caused the semester to go poorly. Checking your UWO email frequently is good practice, even over breaks, but especially over breaks after a rough semester. This is how a student is sent notifications of probation and suspension, as well as information and deadlines on how to appeal. What are extenuating circumstances? Extenuating circumstances are situations where external factors beyond your control interfere with your ability to perform well academically. A death in the family, a severe physical or emotional trauma, a severe illness or hospitalization would be some examples. Not being a morning person, bad professors, or I skip classes are not really considered extenuating circumstances. If you find yourself in a situation like this, however, where something has happened that would qualify as extenuating circumstances, reaching out to the Dean of Students office for assistance and support is a great step. How do you get into good academic standing again after probation or suspension? Meeting with your academic advisor will likely be required to remove a registration hold. This will be a good opportunity to go over your options, like classes that may be beneficial to repeat to raise your GPA, or for major requirements, but also to discuss what may have gone wrong and what you've learned about how to do it differently, as well as what resources and support may be available to help you succeed, like tutoring, counseling, or assistance from the Accessibility Center. How do you know if you should repeat a class or not? How do you know which classes to repeat? This is something that an advisor can help you figure out, but some things to consider would be, can I get a better grade if I repeat this course? Is this course required major or a specific general education course that I need to meet a particular GPA requirement? Repeating a course and earning a higher grade is the fastest way to reach your GPA, so it can be a strategic way to get back to good standing more quickly. But again, an advisor is a great resource for talking this choice through. How can you calculate your GPA? Before you get too nervous, don't worry, there's an app for that. But of course, there's also a formula. This scale illustrates grade point values associated with each letter grade. Grade points can be multiplied by the number of credits for the course. So if you earned a B worth 3 grade points in a 3-credit class, you would take the grade point and multiply it by the credit amount to determine the total grade points for each individual class. Once you have the total grade points for each class calculated, you will add up the total grade points together. In this example, 18, and then add all of the credits together, 12 in this example. Then you would divide the total grade points, 18, by the total credits, 12, to reach the semester GPA. 18 grade points divided by 12 credits equals 1.5, which is your GPA. If you, like me, get a bit twitchy when presented with math formulas, consider those last 2 slides for understanding how it all works, but feel free to use this GPA calculator app. Run a past semester's classes and grades through it first to make sure that you are entering the information correctly, which can help you feel more confident when entering your current classes to calculate your potential GPA for the end of a term. Using the Strategies for Academic Success worksheet, let's think about your college experience so far and set some goals. Why did you come to college? What was your biggest surprise? What are you most concerned about this semester? Are there any classes you should consider repeating in a future semester? What are your next steps? Using the worksheet, pull up your current course schedule. If you're not sure how, check the next slide to fill in each course and spend a few minutes to reflect on these questions. Here are a few screenshots from Titan Web to show you how to access your current GPA and semester classes. Satisfactory academic progress is commonly referred to as SAP. If a student is not completing the courses they have registered for, due to failing classes or dropping courses after the first 10 days, their completion rate can be affected. If the completion rate falls below 67%, a student will be asked by financial aid to complete a SAP appeal. A student may also be asked to complete a SAP appeal if their GPA falls below a 2.0. Your financial aid advisor is your best resource for questions about the SAP appeal, but an academic advisor in the UARC can assist you with an academic plan that you will need to complete to show how you will achieve the 2.0 GPA or the 67% completion rate by laying out each semester and the grades that you could achieve in each of those classes to reach these SAP compliances. Progress reports, previously known as early alerts, are notifications sent out to students as a heads up that there may be a concern worth addressing in a class. Students will receive an email notification immediately after a professor submits a progress report, so they should read the email carefully and follow up with the professor for specifics or advice and help. Report reasons could include class attendance issues like not coming to class or showing up late habitually, not participating or coming to class underprepared, not completing assignments, earning low scores on assignments, quizzes, or exams. Other reasons may have explanations included in the comments to clarify why the professor posted a report. You should note that not all professors submit a progress report, so don't assume that you are fine if you know that things have not been going well in a course, but the professor did not send a report. If you believe you are not doing well, contact the professor. Your Titan Web Student Service Center can be a valuable resource for accessing information and being proactive in your academic preparedness. Knowing when your enrollment dates are, who your advisor is, and if you have any holds on your account that need attention or may delay registration can be one great way to have some control over your academics and the courses available to you when registration time rolls around. This is also where you can access your course history, academic requirements, unofficial transcripts, SAP, financial aid, billing information, and so much more. Every UWO student has an academic advisor, whether they be a faculty advisor to guide them through academic and career planning, a TRIO SSS advisor who supports first-generation students through academic requirements, financial literacy, and other unfamiliar aspects of the college experience, or a UARC advisor who guides and teaches academic requirements, exploring majors, and applying to professional programs. All advisors are here to help guide you to graduation successfully. Peer Advising Liaisons, or the PALs, are the UARC's current UWO students who are highly trained to assist with advising in registration-related questions. If they don't know the answer to your question exactly, they will know who will, and they will also know who to refer you to. They're good people who are super easy to talk to when you aren't sure what to do. Before I let you go, just take a minute to listen to the story of one student's journey from probation to graduation.
I got on academic probation. To get an email telling me that I couldn't get financial aid because you have to meet the requirements, it was definitely heartbreaking. I got caught up in my social life and trying to be that cool kid on campus, and then trying to balance a collegiate sport at the same time was really difficult for me. So I had to pick which one. Something had to go, and I chose football. It had to go, even though I've been playing for a while. Something had to go. And, I mean, at the end of the day, academics is more important. What I did was I'll pay out of pocket. I'll save my money and I'll take a couple courses. I took those 2 courses in the financial aid office. Said, if you get 2 A's in those courses, we'll grant you financial aid to show us your improvement. So I did just that. I did really well that second semester. I got like a 3.7 GPA, and I was just like, wow, I really can do this. I would say use all the resources possible on campus. Like, don't feel bad because you need help. Like, there's probably 1,000 other kids on this campus who have the same questions that you have. The Student Success Center has definitely helped me stay like on my strict path to where I want to be. They always tell you, like, if you feel like this is going to be a struggle course, do it right away. Don't wait till you fail the first and second exam to be like, okay, now I need a tutor, because then it's probably too late. It really is a little thing. You take the time to get a tutor now, it's going to help you. I meet with my advisor every week, looking back on where I started and where I am now. That's I can't do it. I can't stress that anymore. That you can do it. You just gotta put in the work.
I hope this information has been helpful and given you a bit of hope that just because you've gotten put on probation or you've fallen below a 2.0 does not mean that it's all over. There are so many things that you can do to pull yourself out. You've got this. Have a great semester.